the Junior Factor. I'm Jason.
And I'm Connor. Tonight's main topic is the Pledge of Allegiance. Basically, we take, an amendment or two or an article from the Constitution, and we give our interpretation of it.
But the fact that President Obama is our president, we need to be able to trust him.
Progressivism. Now it's spreading through both parties.
These kids were most likely, by the looks of that video, no older than 10 years old. Probably younger. They had most likely no idea what they were singing about.
That's Connor and Jason. How are you guys? Where are you from?
Wethersfield, Connecticut.
And this is a local cable access show?
Yep.
And, you're talking progressivism, but then you call it The Factor.
Yeah, no. Our first inspiration was Bill O'Reilly.
No. Amazing. You have no shot of ever kissing a girl. I just want you to know. But I said to you before we went on, I said, are you guys using chalkboards? And you're going to start using a whiteboard.
Yeah, we have a whiteboard in there. It's a small one, but we'll be able to put it to good use.
Okay, good. Yes. So what I said to you is, can you guys teach something on the chalkboard? So Jason over here, Connor over here, go ahead. I'm going to have you guys, look at this. They went to the green room and they wrote it on the back of a plate. And so they're going to teach something here in just a second on the blackboard. I want to, while they're doing that, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the education dollars. Student loans have been nationalized. That's amazing to me. Most Americans don't even know. That is a huge, complete takeover of the educational system. Who feels passionately on that? Yes, sir.
I'm just shocked that it passed, and I think it's a terrible idea. I think it's just going to create a vicious cycle where, we've already seen it, I guess, where the government has now increased the amount of aid available, and students will take it, and educational institutions will be allowed to raise their prices on tuition, and they'll make more money.
Well, but doesn't it go deeper than that? For instance, you try to get a grant from the United States government to do any kind of research against global warming. You can't do it. Well, doesn't this have another impact?
It infuriates me. Another problem is, too, they are now paying back your student loans if you work for the government for a couple of years. Why can't they pay back your student loans or let you pay them back? Or if they were to pay them back for you, only if you started your own business, or if you worked in the private sector.
But what they're saying is that leads you to serve. That's why they're paying it back, Katie.
Right, and the implication there is that if I don't work for the government and if I'm not carrying out my executive policies, I'm not serving. And so, the $300 a month that I'm paying, I deserve to pay it less than the other, or more than the other guy, because I'm not serving, because I'm stimulating the economy by, like you said, starting a business.
I actually work for an online marketing company that works with for-profit schools like DeVry and all them, and they're terrified of what's going on because part of me that's fears of it is it's kind of social engineering. It's picking winners and losers because everyone's going to say, well, we don't need this right now. You're not getting a loan for us. You're not going to go to school. You're not going to be a journalist because of this. That's part of my
journalists aren't even journalists anymore. So, how many of you accepted a trophy for participation? You did? How many? I notice you're kind of like, okay, yes, I did.
Where are you going with this?
Where I'm going with this is, it's wrong. We're a meritocracy. That's what Thomas Jefferson, that was what made us different, is you don't get a trophy for participating. You get a trophy if you've earned a trophy. You can participate all you want, but you get a trophy if you deserve the trophy. How many of your peers believe now, because of what we've created as your parents and trying to make life easier for you, how many people now in your circle of friends believe that they deserve a free ride? They deserve the corner office. They deserve Dan.
Yeah, especially I'm going to college of Staten Island in the CUNY system, and most of these students believe that it's their right to be there, and some of them are like, the government pays for their whole entire college career. Mine, I pay for it with loans and stuff, but they feel like they're entitled to it.
I paid for mine,
yeah.
too. How many think that education is a right?
Regular education, but not higher education. I think that we need to provide a good foundation for people, but beyond that, they need to excel and take it upon themselves to advance themselves as best they can.
Back in just a second, we'll find out what's on the chalkboard. I want to introduce you to Connor and Jason, who are doing a cable access show, The Junior Factor, and they're adding in a whiteboard. And so I said, well, why don't you guys teach a lesson? Jason, you're up first. Teach the lesson.
Well, this is the goal of our show. This is a diagram of what we have personally observed in our school. There is a imaginary wall, if you will. There are students that have very liberal beliefs, students that have conservative beliefs. There tend to be less conservatives than liberals. The conservative beliefs are out there. They're present. The students that have left views cannot see the conservative beliefs and bounce off the imaginary wall. Our goal of the show is to get rid of the wall so that they can see the conservative beliefs, so now they have two sides of the story, and then they can choose.
I'm out of a job very soon. Okay, Connor, you're 15 years old?
16.
16, and you're 15?
Yep.
Okay.
This is basically an example of what our show would look like. Basically, we take a president, analyze him, tell about
See,
him.
now you're just teasing me. By putting Woodrow Wilson, you're just like, oh, I know this is like candy to Glenn. I'm going to take down Woodrow Wilson. Go ahead, do it.
I find this interesting because Woodrow Wilson is always considered one of the greatest presidents.
Yeah.
And,
evil.
He is. I did a lot of research on him, and these are just 4 things. I've come up with 20. And he denied African Americans certain rights. The Constitution was pre-modern and outdated. He promised no war, yet America fought in World War I. His slogan was, he kept us out of war. And then the next thing he did, he brought us
like within
war.
2 months after taking office the second term, yeah.
And then the Treaty of Versailles was an instigator of World War II. One of the reasons Adolf Hitler, many Germans hated it. It was a very restricting on Germany and their economy.
Did you read the part where they didn't even offer, his people didn't even offer the Germans a seat, a chair at the table?
We learned about it this year.
Yeah, it's amazing. You learned about that in school?
Yeah, we actually did. My social studies teacher.
Wait, what's your social studies teacher? Give him praise here.
Mr. Mosier. He's a very good social studies teacher. It's a very interesting class.
If you're teaching this, Mr. Mosier, I want to come take your class. Let me ask you this: Do you guys feel like you're making any difference? Do you feel like there's any movement at all, Jonathan?
Yes, I would say yes. I think what it requires is a lot of faith and hope. What this country needs at this time is just a few good men. People who are willing to stand up and stand for what they believe in. What this country needs now more than ever is action. It's time to quit the talking, get up and act. For example, I'm a staff member in the Staten Island Tea Party. All it took was 2 people, Lorraine Scanny and Frank Santarpia, to get up and act and to move forward.
Does anybody feel intimidated? Because there's the intimidation factor. I mean, I showed, I think, on Monday's show, there are now 3 advisors to Obama that are leading boycotts of my advertisers on the show. Advisors to the president. You don't know what it's like until you've read in the paper, the president is deciding this weekend what to do about the Glenn Beck problem. That's pretty intimidating. Do you guys feel intimidated?
Yeah.
No. I don't think. I think it's good. If the liberals are starting to really get worried about us, it's a sign that we're succeeding. Yeah. And I feel it because every day you see the students who are sort of wary on their beliefs and who don't know, they've always considered themselves liberal, but not because they were passionate. They're sort of starting to question and say, what is going on?
Right. Question as Thomas Jefferson said, question with boldness. And if you do that, you'll find out what you believe. Back in just a second. I hope you don't mind. I would love to have you all back sometime in the future and have a longer discussion with you, because I think you're amazing for standing up, especially in some of the colleges that you go to, standing up and then being seen on Fox. They're going to have wanted posters up. We were saying that about the Tea Party in the break.
Yeah. You know, a lot of young people who want to get active, you can feel free to join the Collegiate Tea Parties of America on Facebook. It's the only group there for that, and you can vent about what happens in college, and we'll organize events.
Okay, this is kind of like Oprah, except she gave everybody a car. Underneath your seat, you're going to find a T-shirt. Wear it with a bulletproof vest on campus. You guys represent hope and truth. Thank you very much. From New York, good night, America.